everybody, I am back for another video blog. I think I said I was going to start to try to do more of these. I don't know exactly why. I guess I just feel kind of like I want to give some additional content that is non-podcast related, because I repurpose a lot of stuff from the podcast on the YouTube channel. And I don't know, I guess I don't want to feel like I cheat anybody with just repurpose stuff. So here I am back again to talk about some random bullshit. And plus, if the podcast goes away and no one wants to do the show with me anymore, I'm going to need an outlet. And the outlet will be YouTube and doing vlogs, most likely. Or maybe I'll just do a 2-hour podcast by myself, ranting and raving. Aha! That would be fun and interesting. I am drinking vodka, Tito's vodka, and unsweetened iced tea. This is actually my first drink in a couple days. Been trying to lay off a little bit. Been taking it to the limit. God damn, so much. We had a fairly successful 500th episode of the podcast. That marks about 10 years for the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. I've been the only consistent member of the podcast in that length of time since I hosted, uploaded, and edited the entire show. Guess what I was thinking about? Like when you reach episode 500 or you do a show for 10 years, sometimes I think mentally it can feel like you hit a wall. It's like, oh, what else can I do? Should I stop? Should I keep doing it? There's really not much more that we can do with the show. I might stop at the show. I enjoy doing the podcast. I think right now it's actually hit a stride. It's got a good solid amount of content. We do conspiracy, paranormal stuff, and political stuff, and I enjoy it all. And there's elements of humor and entertainment thrown in throughout the entire podcast. And I don't know if we'll get to episode 1000, but I guess that'll be 10 years from now. But we'll certainly try. Episode 499, on the other hand, was like our first video podcast. I don't know if we'll be doing more of those, but it was an interesting kind of experiment. It's not something that I look forward to doing, editing video and putting it out there and rendering it down. I'm not sure how many people actually watched it. Probably not worth it for us in the long run, unless this channel gets way more subscribers and they absolutely demand more video podcasts. So I don't think that's going to happen very often. Although we might do live shows. We did get some phone calls throughout the episode 500, and the phone callers weren't shit. They were actually pretty good. We got 3 of them. They had questions. They contributed to the show. They were prompt. They knew when to shut up. That actually kind of maybe reinvigorated me to doing live shows where the callers actually, they had something to say. They know the show, and they just didn't call up and go and like do a soundbite or do this. They contributed. And for that, I'm very thankful to each and every one of the podcast subscribers and listeners and people who write in, tweets, Facebook, all that crap. It's fucking awesome. I really never thought that we would have any audience, let alone anything over 50. But 10 years later, kids, after 10 years of podcasting, you too can get up to 2,000 downloads a week. After 10 years. That's right. Some more topics I want to touch on. So one of the running things that we have been talking about on the podcast has been the missing 411 subject. That's where people who go out in the national forest, they sometimes, they'll just up and disappear. They can be within, a couple feet of another family member. They'll turn around and they're gone. Sometimes it's kids. Sometimes it's elderly people. There's really no clear-cut description other than sometimes if you wear really bright clothing, you're more apt to be taken. So we've been covering a lot of those stories. And by the way, there's a new book out. David Paulides has a new book out called Hunters, about hunters who go missing in the woods. And we have been covering some of the more paranormal aspects of it, and theorizing and shit-talking, basically, about what possibly could be going on with this. And I've been trying to contact a remote viewer. I've been putting that out there that we would love to have a remote viewer come on and do some remote viewing sessions on people who have disappeared in the missing 411 way, meaning that they've disappeared and then their body is found where a search party has already looked. We want a remote viewer to take a look at some of these instances. And sure enough, we do put up a video, got a couple thousand hits, and a remote viewer chimed in on one of our YouTube videos, and I've been in contact with this person for about, I would say, almost 2 months now, back and forth. I've been trying to coax this person to come on the podcast, share their thoughts, what this could be. Did they do any remote viewing sessions on this? And there's been several times where they had committed and then they backed out, committed, backed out. It's been a lot of email tag. And so we're finally at a point where they say they no longer want to come on the air because they have a very recognizable voice and they fear that might put their family in danger. I don't know what that means. I am on the air. I'm not going to put anybody in danger. We're trying to do a somewhat fun and entertaining show about a serious subject matter like missing 411. I don't know what this person means about putting their family in danger or what this person may know. But they offered a compromise or an alternative to coming on the show, which is 20 questions. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's... Would people want to hear us read 20 questions from a remote viewer? I'd prefer to talk to a person on air. I think that's it. Art Bell gets people. We used to. George Norrie does. Why can't we talk to a remote viewer? I have no idea. So I'm putting it out there. If you know a remote viewer, have them get a hold of us, me, Mike, our Big Dumb Mouth. Go to ourbigdumbmouth.com. Shoot us an email. And let's talk. Let's talk about missing 411. Let's talk about UFOs. Let's talk about anything. Be more than happy to promote your business, or if you have a website, sure, we can get out there and get if it's about missing 411, it'll definitely get a couple thousand hits. People love this shit. That's where I'm at. Very, very frustrating because when I was, reading through the comments, I said, a remote viewer, contacted them, got excited, some great content, but no. Nothing happened. Big bunch of fail. Yes. Let's transition over. Come on. So I got a brand new haircut. I look like a dweeb. See this? I had long hair. It was very long. For me, it was like down to here, and I looked homeless, and I work in an office, so I looked homeless, and I was like, I can't keep going on this way, destroying my head. It's destroying my life. I look homeless, and so I had to get a haircut. Now I look like a dweeb or a nerd or a dork. This is just what it is. Oh, anyways. What I wanted to tell you, I've been playing a game called Battleborn. It is the most recent game put out by 2K, the same people who put out Borderlands, and what else did they put out? They put out some pretty cool stuff, but Borderlands, I think, is the biggest franchise. And, Borderlands has fantastic art. It's a kind of like cell shaded. It's kind of cartoony, very good humor. And they put out this pretty big MOBA, Dota kind of game where it's an online game, online multiplayer game. You go against each other called Battleborn. And I think they threw a shit ton of money at it, very big budget, and they released it at the same time as Overwatch. Steam recently has a deal. You can buy it for $30. Xbox has a deal. You can buy it for $30. I got my version of Battleborn for $14 on humblebundle.com. And it's very fun. It's a very cool game. You can do, I don't know if you can do single player. You can't do a single player campaign, but everything is meant for co-op. You can choose like one of like 22 characters. You go through a very Borderlands-esque story, and you got to stop some kind of evil. And then when you go online, it really kind of turns into like a first-person League of Legends. And you have like, I think 5 versus 5. You have little minions you have to guard to get to the opponent's goal or tower or something like that. You gotta watch them march along, and you gotta ensure that they get there. For $14, that's a steal. I think even for $30 is probably worth it. If you're tired of Overwatch, I bought Overwatch. If you're tired of Overwatch, I would say Battleborn is a pretty good alternative for you. If you just need to take a break, it's a great alternative, and it's very well made, and it really sucks that it didn't get enough attention because it was just so overshadowed by Overwatch, which was produced by Blizzard. I don't know why 2K and I think Gearbox decided to go head-to-head with Blizzard and Overwatch. It makes no business sense. They could have released it 2 months later and made a lot more money, or even 3 months later. Like right now, it's probably perfect time. I think people are a little bit, maybe the excitement of Overwatch maybe has worn off a little bit. I'm not saying Overwatch is not a good game. It's a really good game. I enjoy playing it, but I think the excitement may have worn off a little bit. And why not, at this point, release Battleborn? You make a lot more money. Everyone's happy. But no, for whatever reason, probably has to do with some kind of corporation's like second quarter earnings. They want to get it out there, and it kind of fell flat a little bit. I don't know. I looked online. I tried to find out how much money they spent making this game. I heard it was a huge budget, and I heard like 2K, I think Gearbox spent the most money ever developing this game, as opposed to, versus what they spent with the Borderlands series. It's unfortunate. Go pick it up. It's definitely worth your time. And if you're online and you want someone to play with, let me know. I'll play with you. Sure. Why not? Okay. One last little thing to talk about.
Hey, John Boy.
More things could have happened there. So the last thing I want to talk about is the movie The Black Hole. I believe The Black Hole came out in 1978 or 79. And this was a Disney movie. A very kind of like dark science fiction Disney movie where you had these very, like, there's all like, this is right around the time when, like, right after when Star Wars, the original Star Wars came out, and right before the Empire Strikes Back, and Hollywood was like, holy shit, science fiction's in. Fucking put out a science fiction movie now. And so I think Disney was like all in with The Black Hole, and they put it out. It's a darker movie. It's actually kind of scary. I remember seeing it when I was growing up, and the robot villain, I'm not even sure if it's a villain, but the robot kind of bad guy, he kind of plays the part of what Boba Fett plays, kind of a silent badass, Maximilian, all red robot with these weird blender like forearms that will just tear people apart. Horrific, absolutely scary. And the special effects in the movie are great because it's all real. They built these animatronics, and they look like they really exist in the space that they're occupying. Very interesting kind of movie. I don't know why Disney put this out. It's actually more of an adult movie from what I can tell. It has like some cutesy robots. You can tell when they're building some of the robots, like, oh, let's fucking make it look like C3PO and a mix of R2D2. Get it out there. Kids are going to love it. But it's scary. Holy shit. But I think you can, I don't think it's not on Netflix. It's not on Amazon because it's a Disney movie. I don't think Disney likes to share their movies too much. But I think you could buy it on Amazon if you just buy like the digital version of it. Do it. Very, very creepy and scary. I guess you probably can show a kid now if they're over the age of 5. I guess You should. I guess. Yeah, you can. It's not that scary compared to anything that's out now. No. Yeah. Go share it with your kids. Show your family. It. I don't know how well it did. I don't know if it made its money back. For some reason, I seem to be overtly concerned with corporations' budgets. Are they going to be okay? Are they going to make their money back? Oh, I'm scared. All right. Well, maybe this is why I don't do many vlogs. Because I just kind of pontificate and yak. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching this if you made it to the end. Probably not. I'm sure everyone went, click. Not watching any more of this asshole. Hear enough of you already. Whatever. All right. Talk to you guys later. God bless. Bye.
Excuse me.